As a 15-time Grammy winner, Adele might seem like she's living the star-studded life most of us could only dream of. But she's got daddy issues of her own. The Hello singer recently opened up about her rocky relationship with her father, Mark Evans, and the after effects it had on her in life. First things first, a glimpse into Adele's childhood. Adele's life wasn't easy from the moment she was born in England in 1988. When she was just 3 years old, her father walked out on their family, and 20-year-old Penny Adkins had to raise the young songwriter as a single mother all by herself. She struggled a lot because of what Mark did. Mark went on to work as a plumber. Although he stayed in touch with his daughter, Adele has shared that it was hardly the quality time she deserved as a young girl. In an interview last year with Oprah, she revealed that the single biggest wound in her life from her parents was the absolute lack of presence and effort with her from her father, who had succumbed to alcoholism early on in her life. Growing up, the lack of attention affected her a lot, and she constantly felt ignored by him. He would say that he'd come to see her, but most of the time ended up never coming at all. And in the few times he did, they'd only go out for about half an hour, and then he'd drop her right back home. The string of disappointments went on and on until Adele turned 12. And she decided it was time to cut her father out of her life. She had actually gone to Penarth, Wales to surprise him for Father's Day, but Mark never showed up, even after her grandmother had told him to. That was the day she decided she was done begging for his affection. Little did she know, Adele's father was fighting demons of his own. Although it doesn't excuse him for what he did, the major reason for Adele's father being so absent in her life was that he had been fighting with addiction. Specifically, he was a pretty big alcoholic and had been fighting with demons of his own. At the time, Adele had been too young to understand her father's struggle with alcohol. She described seeing him just drinking juice all the time, and not actually understanding what exactly he was drinking and what effects it had on a person. Of course, as she got older, she understood that it was the alcohol that influenced her father, and not necessarily him making those choices all by himself. But it still hurt all the same. In an interview with The Sun, Mark expressed his regret for not giving enough time to the Someone Like You singer when she was younger. He explained he was in the darkest place you can imagine, and the whole time, all he could think was, how can I do this to Adele? He knew the kindest thing he could do for her was to never let her see him in such a state. And that's why she hardly got to see him. Unfortunately, the interview didn't impress Adele. Instead, in Vogue, she vowed she would never see him again. She'd been ready to start a relationship with him before this, but nothing hurt her more than to see her father being bribed by the press to share personal information. Ouch! Luckily, they made up in the end. After Adele's failed marriage with charity entrepreneur Simon Konecki, she decided to focus on herself and figure out a few things in her life. Not long after that, her father got very sick due to bowel cancer. It was then Adele realized it was time to address the lifelong tension that had built up between her and her father. She went straight to Wales to see him the moment she got the call about his illness, and made her peace with him. Adele described reconciling with her father as one of the biggest moments of her life, and surprisingly, for the first time in decades, they got on really well, which she described as amazing but sad. She even found out he was actually pretty funny, something which she couldn't remember from when she was little, and she even played him her album. Ever since her debut with her album 19 in 2008, Adele has become one of the most popular and successful artists of her generation. She has won 15 Grammys, 9 Brits, 18 Billboard Awards, 1 Golden Globe, and so much more since her career took off. And yet her father never listened to any of her music. In her conversation with him, he admitted that the only song of hers he had ever listened to was Hometown Glory, a single that had been released all the way back in 2007. It was too painful for him, he had explained. And so, Adele played To Be Loved for him, which she described as a much-needed bonding experience where he finally understood her childhood wounds. Even sweeter, when Adele played the rest of her albums for him, he ended up having the same favorite songs as she did. Unfortunately, cancer took Mark Evans soon after their reconciliation, but Adele has remained positive on the note. In an interview with the Rolling Stone, she said she had a physical reaction after she heard the news of her father's death. She said she let out one wail and something left. and that she's been calm ever since. It set her free. Now moving on to other news. First off, LeBron James, Rich Paul, and the Lakers have reportedly met for contract talks. A huge topic of discussion these days is if LeBron James will be signing his extension with the Lakers, and whether he even should. Well, last Thursday, the four-time NBA champion, along with his representative Rich Paul, met with the Lakers' Vice President of Basketball Operations and General Manager Rob Pelinka. According to ESPN, the interview was productive, but both sides will be continuing talks until they come to a mutual agreement. James has been with the Lakers for the past 4 seasons, but a lot of factors are contributing to whether he signs with them again. For instance, he's repeated many times that he wants to play with his son, Bronny, but signing a long-term deal with Los Angeles would only complicate things, considering Bronny will be eligible for the 2024 NBA draft. There is also the concern about James's age. The 18-time All-Star will be turning 38 years old this year, and while he's shown zero signs of being worn out, it is still a factor worth keeping an eye on. Either way, LeBron James is still going strong. In 2020, he helped the Lakers to an NBA title. Last season, he averaged 30.3 points, 8.2 rebounds, 6.2 assists, and 1.3 steals per game. And Beyoncé calls Madonna a masterpiece genius. Queen Bey has decreed it, and we absolutely, totally agree. The two pop legends recently worked together on Break My Soul, the Queen's remix, and clearly it went super well. On Tuesday, Madonna uploaded a few photos on her Instagram stories of a gorgeous bouquet featuring white roses, tulips, and orchids sent to her as a thank you gift by none other than Beyoncé, grateful for the collaboration on her new song. The beautiful gift came with a personalized note as well, reading, "Thank you, Queen. I am so grateful for you. You have opened so many doors for so many women. You are a masterpiece genius." Interestingly, the phrase masterpiece genius is actually a reference to one of Beyoncé's recently released songs, Alien Superstar. In their remix, Beyoncé pays homage to current and previous artists who have inspired her, including not only Queen Mother Madonna, but also other music sensations such as Lizzo, Missy Elliott, Aaliyah, Whitney Houston, and so many more. The remix also honors the ballroom culture that served as the inspiration for Madonna's original Vogue, and as the source of much of Beyoncé's Renaissance sound, vocab, and aesthetic, by mentioning the houses of Extravaganza, Revlon, La Beija, and Amazon. And finally, Lizzo declares About Damn Time the song of the summer, with backup from Vecna of Stranger Things. Jamie Campbell Bower, the man who plays the Stranger Things Season 4 villain, recently proved that even Vecna is a fan of Lizzo's hit song About Damn Time. Appearing on The Tonight Show, Jimmy Fallon asked him to sing the popular second verse of the song in his Vecna voice. And honestly, it was pretty good. The 33-year-old actor managed to lower his voice to Vecna's chillingly low pitch, zero editing required, and delivered. The following Monday, Lizzo uploaded a fun TikTok on her official account, where she declared her song was definitely the song of the summer, and put up the video of Jamie singing the song in his Vecna voice as proof to back it up. She also added a funny caption at the bottom, "A Vecna, finna get this neckna." Considering the fate of everyone that's crossed Vecna, we're gonna agree. And that's a wrap for this video. How did hearing Adele's reunion with her father make you feel? Let us know in the comments below. Personally, we got the chills. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this.